So I want to do a quick live build of something similar to this. Kind of a one-page coming soon emails kind of capture form. This is from Card. It's one of their templates. I thought it would be something quick and easy to recreate. And whether you use it for a coming soon page for your new website or a client website, or maybe some type of email capture for an offer, super easy to do. So I went and turned off everything in GeneratePress. So I disabled navigation, all that stuff. So basically I have a blank white page, typical landing page. So looking at this, I know I'm going to need a background photo, an inner container with this content. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to drop in a container and give it a little bit of padding. And then I'm going to drop in, I've got this podcast photo, and I want it to fill the browser window like this one. And I could do that by going up to minimum height, and I'm just going to select 100 VH, which is basically going to fill the browser window no matter what size it is. Now this one kind of has like a shadow filter. I'm going to give mine a kind of an angled gradient. So let me go and change it to 120. And I'll set my colors. Now to get the gradient and the photo kind of merged, one of them has to be a pseudo element, which means it's going to be opaque. So I'm going to leave the gradients at 100%, and I'm going to make the photo itself the pseudo element. So as of right now, it's an element. And as I change the opacity, you'll see it switch. And I'm going to take it down to maybe like 20%. So now I have my photo with a little gradient, and I'm going to add my content on top. So I'm going to add another container, and this one I'm going to set to contained with and make it 500 pixels. And it had a white background color. I'm going to give it some padding. And I think this one had kind of softer corners, so I'll maybe give it like a 2 pixel border radius. Now, to get it to float in the middle here, you could do it two ways. I could give it some maybe like 200 pixels of top padding on the outer container to push this down. Or I could just set this content to float vertically in the middle. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go back to the outer container, which is this one with the photo, which is holding this white container inside. And I'm going to change the vertical alignment to center. So anything in this outer container now will sit in the middle from top to bottom. All right, so I need a headline with an icon. So let me drop in a headline block. And I'm gonna make this an H1. And I've got some dummy text and dummy icon SVG HTML I'm going to grab. So I've got my H1, and I'm going to drop in an icon. And I actually want that above. And I'm going to reduce space, and I'm going to change it to pixels and make it maybe something like 80. All right. Now I think I'll make the icon a different color than the text, so maybe this blue color. All right, so after that, there was a little bit of kind of dummy text, and I have that. So after this one, I could do insert after and just grab another headline block. And I'll grab paragraph, center line, drop that in there. All right, so there's a form, and I'm using the free version of Fluent Forms for this. And I want to get this kind of little rule between them. I think the easiest way to do that is to just add a bottom border to this headline block. So I'll set that, and I'm going to need some space. So maybe I'm going to give it 30 pixels of padding in here, but then I'm going to need space below it for the form. So I'll just set it to 30 for now, and I can always double check it when I drop the form in. All right, so after this, I could basically go ahead and add a form. So I got Fluent Forms, I've got an email, kind of a slim email form I could drop in here. Now let's see what we got on the front end. All right, so it's coming together. I'm going to increase that space there. I want to decrease this bottom margin on this H1, but everything else is looking pretty similar to the other one. So let me change this to maybe like 25, and I'm going to add a little more margin below this, maybe 40. And there we go. This gray line, I'm going to make it a little more subtle, kind of like they did. So I'm going to change the border color to this light gray. All right. So this is looking pretty spot on to something like this. And it took me not very long. Now, as far as the tablet and mobile, this is such a simple layout, it'll probably just stack perfectly. But one thing I did do is I added that 30 pixels of padding on the outer container, which will prevent this white box from hitting the edge of smaller screens like phones. So I use Hoverify to check responsive layouts a lot. So let me dive into there really quick. So you see now I have this 30 pixels of the photo on the sides of this white box, which looks good. And there's no columns or anything, so everything stacks perfectly. iPad looks just like desktop. So I think I'm good to go. So it's super easy. Now, if I wanted to save this and use it somewhere else, maybe on another website down the road, or maybe share it with someone, I can either select the outer container and click copy, or you can go and click copy all content in the editor. And then what I could do is take a text file like this and paste all that code in here. And I can actually save this now to my computer as like a coming soon form or page. And let's say I wanted to do this again on another new website, I could just go ahead and copy it. And if I delete that, if this was a new website, I would just insert my cursor and hit paste. And then I have this exact same coming soon page on another website. And it'll pick up whatever fonts you have loaded as your H1 and your paragraph. And this is using the default GeneratePress color palette. So as of right now, this is my accent color. So whatever your accent color is, it'll pick that up. The gradient, it'll pick up whatever you have set for these colors here. So you can kind of customize it yourself. But that's it. Super easy, and something you can kind of repurpose over and over, whether it's a coming soon or kind of an email capture. Something very similar to kind of a lot of the templates on Card, which are pretty nice. Before I go, I wanted to do a quick promotion of my community. If you're interested in some GeneratePress and GenerateBlocks training on an ongoing basis, I launched the Website Builders Collective about 2 months ago, and got a bunch of people in there already. And there's all types of templates, tutorials. If you're familiar with my previous course, it's basically kind of like that, plus a whole lot of other resources as far as landing page templates, community support. There's some other tutorials based on website performance, design tips, all types of good stuff. I'll put the link to the landing page below. It has all the information. Any questions are probably answered on here. If you want to look at all the templates that are currently available, these are the demos. For example, I just added artists the other day, and all the landing page templates are using the free version of GenerateBlocks, and they're all one page. You can easily copy and paste them, use them on client projects, use them as much as you like. So if you have any questions, whether you want to drop them below or shoot me an email, I'd be happy to answer. And as far as the community itself, it's hosted at Podia. And these are all basically the topics. The way it works is it's kind of like a blog roll as far as I just added this one. This was the video that I just shot, and the version for the community, which also gives them the files that they can kind of download. So for example, the website Explore, this is the current live demo site that I'm building from start to finish. And it's just kind of broken down into little chapters. And then when this one's done, I'll move on to a new one. There's some single tutorial videos, everything from GeneratePress, GenerateBlocks. There's some resources, how to kind of certain different assets you can download. Just basically all things GeneratePress, GenerateBlocks. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or want to learn a little more about what's on the inside. I hope everyone is doing well, and I'll see you next time.